All right, let's get it, everybody. This is not financial advice. I just hope you brought your oven mitts, baby, because it's about to get hot in the kitchen. I want to give a shout out to Larry Jones and Stock Mo. Subscribe to their channels. I highly recommend it. It's the first link pinned in the comments and pinned in the description. So I see you over there. Now, Larry, Mo, you go ahead and say hello to the people.
Go ahead, Larry.
Hey, what's up, good people? Hey, we all here to live, love, laugh, and most of all, learn. Y'all know I love it being on this show with my brothers, Mo and Keenan. That's all I got to say.
Let's get it.
And I gotta tell you, I love being here too. It's the family trio. Every 2 weeks, I feel like I'm with my brothers from another mother, and we just get together and try to help people out and have a fun time doing it with a couple of laughs and all that good stuff. But with the markets being up 6 weeks in a row, I think it's around 6-7 weeks in a row. This is going to be a fun live stream. I want to thank Keenan personally for allowing me on here on his channel, and I look forward to a lot of good things. And like I usually say, stick around because I think you're going to like what we got for you.
Come on,
and everybody, Mo. Check this out. I want you to just know something really quickly. The video just came out. When I opened it up, I seen that there were 3 dislikes on the video already. Didn't even post 3 dislikes, right? So let's overwhelm them with likes. Let's overwhelm the hate, and let's get over all of it, family. The love will always outshine the hate. Let's get this to 100% likes. Right now, we got 300 people in the building. Could we get this over 300 likes so then YouTube could feed it to the algorithm and we could pump the video up? Now, let's talk about it. The question of the day is it time to buy stocks? And you can go wherever you want with it. Is it time to buy certain stocks or time to just sit on your hands and wait? So now, Larry, let's start with you. What do you think? Is now the time to buy stocks? What do you got in mind for that?
Absolutely. It's time to buy stocks. And what I'm going to say is continue to buy. We've been buying every year by dollar cost averaging. That's how I'm buying in this this time frame. I am literally continuing to dollar cost average, simply because the Fed, the White House, Janet Yellen, and a few of these talking heads are just not truthful with us about where we are in this recession. If you kick the ball, if you move the goalposts, then the rules, and you change the rules, then So I just think that we're going to have a bump. Now, I believe Mo said we will be having a bump this summer. So hats off to Mo.
Let's go.
I appreciate that.
I was thinking that it will be, well, what I've been saying is the truth. Mine was based on inflation. I got news for everybody. Inflation is still high. It has not come down. Mm-hmm. But the market is shrugging that off because of the narrative that is out there. So, should we be buying? Yes. Am I buying? Yes. I'm cautiously buying, but I'm not deploying all of my money. So, I'm just continuing the dollar cost average. And then in my 3 portfolios in this last week, they've all had a boost. That's how you participate regardless of what the market does.
Mo, before you say anything, I want to say this. I said that the haters came in and hit the dislike, right? Remember, engagement is engagement on YouTube. Why they take the dislikes away? They took put my dislike back. Put my dislike back.
I don't think they think we can handle the thumbs down when people come in here, but hey, we're big boys. We can handle it. Don't worry. Not every stock we're going to talk about, every crypto we're going to talk about is going to go to the moon. And even some of them that did go to the moon, they come back to Earth and they go right into the center and burn up. So not everything we talk about is going to be absolutely unicorns and rainbows. But if you listen, very careful for these little pieces of wisdom we're throwing out there, I think all together as a community, we can help each other come up with some solid investment strategies and take advantage of some of these ups and downs. I'm going to be honest with you, Keenan. I think right now is one of the best times we're going to have in the next 5 to 10 years to become millionaires.
I believe it.
Now, when the market is down, we're down 30, 40%. Some of these stocks are down 70 to 80, but they're going to be long-term winners. So when do you want to buy them? When they go back up to, 4 or 5 times the current value, then you buy? Or do you buy when everybody's afraid? And that's the thing. I still hear so many people out there afraid of this market. I'm not buying it. I'm not convinced. Well, let me tell you a little piece of information. The NASDAQ is up 18.99% since June 16th, when we were out there talking about the bull run's going to start. Well, what starts a bull run? Well, a 20% gain off the low. We're up 18.99. 1.01% more, and it's officially the next bull market for the NASDAQ. Just throwing that out there, folks. So if you've been listening, you've been seeing it, that we've been buying, this is the benefit of that. For everybody else, I know the videos. I know all the fear, uncertainty, doubt, because it makes you watch their video, but it also makes you lose money when you look and think, well, I shorted back when it was S&P was at 3,600, and now it's up another 15%. So I just lost an additional 15% because you're riding that retail momentum. And the one thing, remember what Buffett says, when everybody's fearful, that's when we should be buying. If you did that back about a month and a half ago, you're up a lot of money right now. So
oh yeah, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
What I want to say is this. You got to understand, like Mo just said, you have to buy things when they're low. Again, the people who are in power, what they do is they already can see it coming. They know what policies are going on. This is why you keep hearing about Nancy Pelosi, right? You keep hearing about her going to Taiwan. You see all of the policies that they're making. They're talking about, the Inflation Act. They're talking about many different acts that are coming out right now. Understand that the politicians knew long before. They got into these stocks long before, right? Imagine this.
Hey, Keenan, what did Nancy Pelosi and them buy? What was that? Wasn't it NVIDIA?
Oh yeah, they bought NVIDIA, and you see what
wasn't
time
it
it is.
Just before she voted on a chip bill?
Right before. For those of you that don't know, again, like I was saying, and like Larry just said, they would vote on a semiconductor bill, a chip bill, and keep in mind, what's crazy is they said that Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan to meet with semiconductor related companies. Right?
Yeah,
so,
and here's the thing, guys.
Oh
just
my
to
goodness.
fill that in. They have a significant stake in Alliance Bernstein, which has a significant stake in TSM. And she just met with TSM. So put that together. I don't know if you guys knew that. So It's not just NVIDIA. So
it's a semiconductor space in general. Yep.
And that's remember the 50 billion and 200 billion. That's for global chip makers. A lot of people think this is just for U.S. chip makers. No, the U.S. wants chip makers on their soil from around the world, not just benefiting U.S. chip makers. So they're trying to bring in TSM, which we know is a huge monster in terms of chip making. So they want them over there. They want NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, of course, other ones around the world. So don't sleep on that. Remember, TSM may be a big player here very soon in the U.S. in terms of making it on our soil.
That's right. T, I want to give you a shout out. Thank you for sponsoring this war on financial illiteracy. We appreciate you for that. And Gene Thornton, the GOAT, always showing love. Much love to you. Appreciate you for the super chat, family. Now, everybody, again, I want you to really think about this, right? When we were focusing on, doing lives every 2 Wednesdays or so, this is when you could catch us. I was just thinking, and I was sitting back, and I said, so many people get caught up trading, that they forget that they also have to invest. So I want you to think about this. Imagine that you have a seed company, right? You're literally selling like seeds to grow trees, right? To grow plants, to grow vegetables, things like that. And in the future, the vegetables are going to be worth way more than the seeds are today, but you just trade them all away for pennies, right? We want to trade, but we have to plant seeds so that we can eventually live under the shade of those trees, family. We got to think of it like that. Not everything is just a trade. You got to think about what things you like to be in. So, you know me. You know that I'll talk about Shiba Inu, which I consider to be, this is a chance to do a swing trade, right? I'll talk about AMC. Now, many people understand this. This is a swing trade too. It's a short squeeze play, right? Now, this doesn't mean you got to go invest in either one of those, but understand, I have them categorized in my mind. I don't have them categorized the same way that I have in Apple. I was talking to people who are like in the older generations in my family, and they say, Keenan, look, you talking about how to invest this and that. What should I do? And I say, you know what? If you haven't started investing, then what you should do is maybe download some app, get on some platform, preferably somebody you can call. So if you get confused, then you could call them up, customer service, and then go look at companies that you already know. Like I said, Apple, right? Your grandmother, your uncle, your granddad, people in the older generations, people in the younger generations, across the board. They know what Apple is. They know that people want the iPhone. They know that there's a cycle in which they come out, right? They might not know that Apple is working on an electric vehicle with developers from Lamborghini, which
I've
is
been
coming in
saying
the
that
future.
for
They
2
might not know
years
about
now.
that, but you already know Apple is a banger, and the future
Yep.
is just waiting for us, family. But that's
Yeah.
what I tell them. I say, you go and you look at Apple, right? You could get into the other things later on. But what's interesting about this is when you look at Apple, beat the stock market. If you would have had totally just Apple in your portfolio and literally nothing else, right? You would have beat the SPY in the last few years. Even when the stock market is down, look at the stock market totally right now. You see that it's bouncing back up, right? Apple is way ahead of the stock market. Apple, I don't even think it ever went negative on the year in this last bear market. I think it came down from being up 30% to being up 5%. But the overall market was up like 20% to being close to down like 10%. So you got to think, oh, some of these companies that I know and love are already beasts, big dogs, and bangers. So again, shout out to y'all. Oh, and Gene, I'm going and I'm reading your comment now. You say your daughter got a 3rd-degree burns, 40% of her body. I'm getting to just read it right now. I seen it, and you flew out to Arizona. Look, we got you in our thoughts, Gene, for real. And you said 3 weeks later, please keep us lifted. Gene, I'm
We
so
praying for
sorry
you,
to hear
Gene.
that.
Prayers.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Gene, for sharing that with us. We appreciate you because, again, you got to think like this. I'm in the business of helping people, and not everybody's problem is always just what stock to buy right now. Some people, you know what I'm saying, going through some real things. So, Gene, just know we got you.
Yeah.
We got you right here.
Hey, Gene, you got a Cash App that you can post? Nobody else posts a Cash App. Gene, you got a Cash App you can post?
If so, feel free. Feel free, Gene.
Feel free.
Yeah, that's a tough
please,
situation.
please, let's respect and just only give it to only her, please.
Right. And again, out of the kindness, you don't have to, but out of kindness,
Yeah, and she's giving, so you know it's not a scam because she's actually giving to you.
Oh yeah, and I look, Gene she's a great person. We've been in communication. Great person. Shout out to Gene.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
one question that I did want to ask you two was this: do you think the bear market is over? And if so, for how long? Let's start with Mo.
I'll start this one. I've been saying this for a long time. This story hasn't changed. It's just going to be read to you all again. And I've been saying this no. I figured 2022 we were going to see a recovery. I said Q3, Q4. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to be in July. I thought August would be the earliest we'd start to get the recovery, and it would look pretty much like we're seeing now. Now, with that being said, we are going to, I think, going to see a strong Q4. I think the Fed's going to come out in September with a 50 basis point hike. I think that's the last hawkish hike you see. I think November 1, 2, first and second comes around. We got midterms coming up. I think at that point, you're going to see them do about a 25 basis point hike. And the inflation numbers might stay up there in the 8s, but we have peaked. And I think the terminal rate for the Fed rate hikes, is going to come a lot quicker than most people believe. And for those that don't know what the terminal rate is, it is when the Fed peaks at their Fed rates. How high will it get before they do the cuts? They're already calling for a 50 basis point cut in 2023 sometime. I think we're going to see stimulus checks as well sometime in 2023. Why? Because the Fed's going to get too aggressive. I did a video on Jeremy Spiegel out of, I can't even remember the major college here in Pennsylvania. Wharton School of Business. Yes. So
that's right.
He came out, one of the smartest dudes in the world. He came out and said that we're already above the neutral rate that he thinks the Fed needed to be for inflation, that they're looking backwards, that they're looking at the numbers before. Going forward, he believes housing's already been taken care of. A lot of the other things, if we just look forward, are actually coming down to a point that they're already too aggressive. But that's not going to be enough because you're going to hear things still high. The Fed's going to get over aggressive. And I said it before, it's going to lead us to a point of deflation and where the prices start to drop. And everybody's going to be like, what's wrong with that, Mo? You're going to find out because all of a sudden businesses' profits start to get eaten up and layoffs come, unemployment comes, and you're going to see a spike in unemployment. States are going to come out, extend unemployment benefits. And like I said, the checks will start rolling out for stimulus. And then all of a sudden the Fed's going to get aggressive in cutting. And then that major next bull run. But before that, between now and then, I do expect to have a period of a sell-off. I don't think it's going to go back down below the 3,600 for the S&P 500, but I do believe the bull run continues with some ways. We can see 5 to 10% moves down and then back up to newer highs for 2022, and that's what I'm expecting. But overall, if you ask me, is the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell going to be higher at the end of the year than it is right now? My answer is yes. Thus, why I'm putting almost $200,000 in leverage plays over at my place. So I'm going to see if I'm right. We'll make a lot of money. Last year, we had people yelling at my video on it, and we ended up making $90,000. I didn't hear them squawking anymore. This year, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll be right. I don't think I'm going to be, though. We'll find out. Time's going to tell us really, really soon.
That's right. And I want to give a shout out to my guy, Quentin. Appreciate you, family. Got the oven mitts on. Shout out to you for funding this war on financial illiteracy. Jean Thornton, she also just put her Cash App up. She's going through some tough times with family. So we allow her to be a part of our family because guess what? She's been that way for a long time. So if you want to bless her, you don't got to do a lot. You're not compelled to, but just know I'm going to hit that up for you, Jean. But let's keep it going. Larry, I got a question for you. I just asked Mo that question. Do you think the bear market is over? And if so, for how long? Mo, I really liked your answer too, by the way. Go ahead, Larry.
No, I don't think the bear market is over. Number one, and here's why. And I'm going to, it's not that I'm disagreeing with Mo, it's just that our timelines are, actually they were the same, but they're a little different. He just saw the bump coming back earlier than I do. I see it coming in fourth quarter, right? So every time we've had a run like this, we've had 2 more floors down during a bear market leading into a recession, into a hard recession. So this is normal. And most of you guys that are on here probably haven't been investing for more than 5 years. So you're not used to this. But this is actually normal. This happens 80% of the times in a recession where we get this bull run, right? Well, it's not even a bull run. We get this recovery, right? And so we're not in a, in a bull run. We just got a slight recovery going on. But this always happens. And then you have a leg down and then another leg down. Actually, it's about 3 legs down. And so what I will say is if you are investing, it really doesn't matter. Let me use SoFi for an example. I literally just made a video about this. SoFi was up 28% today alone, right? 28%, right? Had you bought SoFi in the beginning of the year, right, and you just made one purchase, you would be down 47% today. So on January 1st, had you bought SoFi, you would still be down 47%. Because we dollar cost average in the SoFi every day, it was one of my picks, right? Because it was getting beat down so much, we're only down 3%. So if you'd have bought it at the beginning of the year, you're down 47%. But had you been dollar cost averaging weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, you would be only down around 3%. And you know, one day you could be green. And so that's how you can participate regardless of what the market is doing, because nobody knows where the bottom is. So I don't feel that we're at the bottom. I just feel like we're in this time frame. We got a little recovery, but I believe that the worst of the recession is yet to come. No one knows when that is. Now, let me say this. I know this is a long answer, but the people need to know this. In 2008, they announced the recession December 1st of 2008, right? The recession started the second quarter in 2007. Think about that. Like over 14 months, it took them to say, hey, by the way, we were in a recession last year. And you know it lasted until 2009, right? So we can make money. We could make money off of this bump, which I am. because as you know, I got 3 portfolios, probably like 18 different stock, right? And yeah, 3 times 6. And so I'm making money in all of those portfolios. So I'm not missing the bottom. So I'm just trying to educate people is now is the time to really be investing over trading.
All right. So I got something for you too, and I appreciate that answer because I totally agree. Like I said, you got to plant seeds, right? Think of bear markets kind of like the rain, right? But you got to remember when you plant seed, the rain is good for seed. It's raining on your portfolio, but it's raining on your long-term portfolio or your long-term stocks. So then you say, okay, Apple is down. Boom. I can buy some more of it. VTI is down. Boom. I can buy some more of it. Make sure you're doing your research, right? But understand this too. I mentioned this in a few videos of mine that I've been talking a lot about. And people say, man, Keenan, look, you talking about Biden, you talking about Pelosi, what's going on, right? I want you to understand that the primary elections are going on right now. And they're going to be done in about November 8th. So what is the government trying to do? What are they trying to do? They're trying to show you that you need us. You need us to keep things going. But remember, they give you just enough to keep you dependent. What does that mean? They give you some scraps and they say, look, guys, we're giving you a little bit of pump. Vote for us. We bringing the gas prices down. You know how hard they've been talking about these gas prices coming down? Guess what, family? The free market should to dictate what the gas prices are. It shouldn't be forced. So what are they doing? They're trying to force inflation down artificially, which means that it's still there, right? Imagine that you have something like bubbling out of a pot, right? Like you have the stove on, it's too hot. Inflation is red hot and it's boiling in water, right? And you go and you put the lid on it when you should have turned the stove down. But instead you just put the lid on it and then it's still trying to bubble over, right? This is what they're doing. They're trying to put a lid on it. So then you'll see Biden. If you follow Joe Biden on Twitter, President Joe Biden, you'll see all he's talking about is gas is down 20 cents. Gas is down 40 cents. He's putting pressure on the gas companies to start to share some of their profits. You got to really understand that after these primary elections, after everybody in the House of Representatives, basically all of the seats are up for grabs, including Nancy Pelosi, right? So this is why she's on this world tour, right? You got to really put things into perspective. Political they are really, theater. Right? You see what I'm saying? They are really, and put some headphones in the chat, family. I'm trying to really show you some wealth talk right now. I'm trying to put you up on some game because this is stuff that you really got to know. These are the people who are making decisions for us, right? Did you get permission? Did they get permission for you? Let me give you a quick fact. They're saying that it costs millions, if not $100 million to give Pelosi security to go to Taiwan of taxpayer money. Go and look that up for yourself. Now, the reason that I want you to just understand all of these things is once the primary elections is over, once all of the people in the House of Representatives, these are lawmakers, right? These are the people who are writing the laws up, House of Representatives and the Senate. Once they got all of their positions and their seats going, they're going to allow the free market to kind of dictate what's going on. So then inflation is going to just, I thought it was coming down. No, we put the lid on the pot, but now the pot just blew the lid right off the pot. Larry, what you got for us?
I'm like Horseshack. Ooh,
you right? Yeah.
Remember that, Mo? Welcome back, Ooh.
So what I really want you guys to think too is this. Now, the saving grace and all of this, because I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but you know me, I keep it real, I keep it raw. And if you try to lie, where my notepad at? Bop, bop, right? I'll smack you with the notepad. So, check it out. The saving grace here, the silver lining, is the elections, the primary elections is done on November 8th, right? This brings us into Q4. Q4 is the holiday season when people do generous amounts of spending. So then this could impact certain stocks that you might be in. So then hopefully that it's not too crazy that inflation is still going through the roof, but hopefully it's there enough to balance out the free market that we're in. I see the headphones coming in the chat. I love it. I see come on now, hit that like button, baby. Can we get it over 1,000 likes? Let's go.
Can I say something when you
Larry,
finish?
jump in, big dog. Let's do it.
Listen. Look, Keenan, you know in the hood, we call it the okie doke, right?
Uh-huh.
Janet Yellen comes out with a press release that she's going to be speaking before the Fed speaks. And she's like, I don't think we're in a recession, right? Fed chair Jerome Powell comes out at the FOMC meeting before the GDP numbers come out and says, "Oh, we're not in a recession." Have you seen the GDP numbers? Oh, no. Right. Well, regardless of what it says, we're not in a recession. Look at the job market. So in other words, regardless of what the data says, we're not in a recession. So he literally said that, right?
Yep.
GDP numbers come out that proves that, in fact, we're in a recession. And
Right.
he goes, nah, job market is too strong, right?
They changed the definition up on us.
They changed it up. The White House goes on this, we're not in a recession. They literally have a anti-recession bill.
A campaign
Okay.
going out.
They literally, recession is part of the name of the bill. This is political theater, right? Then check this out. I always look at similarities, right? Remember back when we were in the same situation? Gas always goes lower just before the election, just like you said, Keenan.
That's interesting.
It's interesting how gas magically goes lower just before, and then it slowly creeps back up, right? It always happens that it goes down just before the election on time. Then we were in the same environment in 2008 when the polls get low, and this is not political, right? But we know the then sitting president came out with this press release. We killed Osama bin Laden. And guess who they just killed? Osama's right-hand man.
Right. Come on, man.
They've been tracking him all this time. They knew exactly where he was all of the time.
They had him right in the queue.
Drones were ready and pointed all the time. But we need a win.
Yeah.
Hey, people, look, let's take our heads out of the sand.
Come
I'm
on.
not saying don't invest. I'm saying keep a little cash.
Yeah.
I'm just saying don't go all in. Because one day you're going to come back to this video and you're going to go, you know, I probably should have listened to him. So if you're really hot for a stock, just DCA. You don't have to do $5. You can do it. If you Big Willie, do $1,000 a day. Just don't put $1 million in it.
Right.
Big Willie. Hey, let me say this, you know, and I'll say it for everybody because we're talking a little bit of politics here. And it's very, very simple. I'll ask everybody, the listeners out there, I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're independent. I don't care what party you're going with. Ask yourself this. If the roles were reversed, if Republicans controlled everything right now, GDP dropped 2 consecutive quarters, what would the Democrats be yelling that we're in right now? And what would the Republicans saying we're not? Because right now they're saying the opposite. If the roles were reversed, you know they'd be the opposite.
Hey, Mo, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the textbook definition of a recession again?
Oh, I got you. I used to teach this. That's right. I taught it for years in high school and college. It was 2 consecutive quarters of GDP decline.
And what just happened?
I can't rewrite. They're rewriting textbooks all over, all the colleges, Wharton School of Business, Penn State, you name it, everywhere. They're rewriting the books because, well, there's an election coming up. We need to.
Right.
I don't want to get you started on this, Keenan. I get fired up on this. I try not to talk too much politics because it irritates me.
But you know what? I think the politics is okay when we talk about it and how it pertains to our market that we're in right now. We're trying to invest our hard-earned money, and what they're doing is directly impacting, not even peripherally, directly impacting what's going on in the market right now. I'm telling you this. This pump that we have that's going on right now, this was in the textbooks in 2020. They knew, like, let me tell you something. One thing that a lot of people in the Senate knew, if you go back and you track Mitch McConnell, right? He was in the Senate, Republican. If you track what he was doing for a while, what you'll see is they were talking about how there was going to be inflation in 2022, in 2023, in 2024, directly due to what? The stimulus packages. Not just the checks that you got, but the PPP loans that some businesses got, the larger ones that large corporations got. They said, oh, we pumping trillions of dollars into the market in a short period of time. Oh yeah, inflation is going to be crazy through the roof. So then just know all of these things that are happening today, it was already written. We just seeing it play out. So we got to navigate that. And one way to be able to do it, like we were saying before, is you got to have that strong foundation in your portfolio, right? You can't, even though we like some of the, what they would call hype stocks or anything like that. Even though you like some of those or hype coins, it can't be your whole portfolio, family. Again, I really want you to understand that. That's so important. We got a lot of people
Keenan,
on. Yep, go ahead.
At the end of this video, I want to show people how to make money on hype stock.
Hey, right? You can make so much money on it.
I want to hear this. Hold on. I want to hear what Larry has to say at the end of the video. Who doesn't like to make a little extra cash? And I know he's good at it. So I'm following along with that one, Larry.
Okay. Hey, Larry, if you want to go now, you can.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just go. I'm going to just say it right now. And I know I may take some heat for this, but it's game that I got to put the family on.
That's right. Oh, he said you got to take some heat, family. Put the oven mitts in the chat.
Give me some oven mitts. Give me some coffee cups. And give me some Tesla cats.
Let's get it.
You got it.
All right. So listen, it's, you know what? First, I want you guys to do this, and then I'm going to go right into it. All right. I want you guys to go right to Keenan's page. All right. Or you can wait till after this is over. I want you to go to the link, right? I want you to go to the description, which looks like right here. Thanks for posting us up here, Keenan.
I want
you to go to his description, hit where it says show more, and I want you to download these links. Okay? Moo. And you still have the other one, Keenan?
Yep. I'm in them.
That start with a W?
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's on there. It's on there.
So I want you to download Webull because Webull has drip fractional share buying, right? And this is what I want to say. So let's look at some of the money that I made this week. And I'm going to tell you guys this. And I if anybody gets on here and says, why you tell me after the fact, I'm going to thump you upside the head in my mind.
Where my notepad at?
For entertainment only, though. For entertainment only, you're getting a thumping.
Exactly. So I'm going to tell you how to do it. It's very simple. And I'm also going to tell you there'll be another one tomorrow, the next day, every single day, there's one. It is at least one every day. Easy money. This week, you want to know what I have traded this week? APDN, FREY, PGY, HKD. All of these hype stock that came up in the last week that went up 300, 400, 500%. I've made money on every single one of them. In my house robe, drinking my coffee with my hair undone because I just get up in the morning. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put you on game. So when you go to Yahoo Finance, it's so simple, right? When you go to Yahoo Finance, I want you to go to Yahoo Finance and just click it like you're going to put something in, right? When you click it in like you're going to put something in, it literally shows you some of the biggest runners of the day, right? You see that, good people? So all you got to do is just click the space, www.yahoofinance.com, right? And so what I do is you see something, a stock that you haven't seen before that has run up, right? Just like I just showed you. The next morning, you go to CNBC or one of those channels or Fox Business, and you look at the ticker, right? Now, remember, you can't be late to the party if you're early. This has nothing to do with fundamentals. This only has to do with the herd. When a stock runs up 200 to 300%, you got about a half a day to get some of that action, but you got to get in and you got to get out.
That's right.
And so what I do pre-markets, before the market opens the next morning, is I will establish it. They all do like this, right? They're just fluctuated. So I'll catch it on the low and immediately set a stop loss. So I don't lose money. And then this is what I'm going to tell you. If you got money, you'll make money. So if I throw like 5 G's in and it's a, 90 cent, then you're buying. And then if I want to make $500, $1,000, I will set my buy price at that. I'm not trying to make 50, 90% or whatever. I just set my stop at that. But here's the rule. Once you make that money, don't go back in. That second, third time, you're going to lose. I'm just telling you, this is only for disciplined people. I will tell you that I've made money on all 5 of them. No less than $1,000 a pop before the bell opens. And all except one. The other one I made money on PGY. I made 25% one day. I made 30% another day. And then it dropped back down. I got back in and made 50%. Now I broke the rule because now I have myself. I have stocks with Josh, who's a technical guy. So don't try to get back in the second and third time like I did. But I made money on AP, DNY, FREY, HDK, VRB, Verb. And so I'm making money on these little risky plays, but I'm not investing money that I can't afford to take a hit on. I'm only taking, 1%, less than 1% of my entire portfolio, okay? And so remember, if you see something running and it just ran that day, www.yahoofinance.com, if it just ran that day, then you have a little time. But you got to be careful because sometimes if you don't set stop losses, sometimes soon as opening bell happens, it falls. So you got to have your stop losses in. And just the first time you do it with $100, good people. Don't play with serious money. Don't try to win the lottery because you're going to lose. All right. So that's what I want to say.
I got something on that too.
I don't know if I that forever and a day.
I don't know if I can share my screen when I'm doing a live with you all like this. Let me just try something real quick. See if I can. Okay, yeah, great. So I know I'm all up in the screen like super close, but check this out, family. I know you've been hearing me talk about Moomoo, right? I really talk about the tools that they have that other platforms is just not as easy to see it, right? Look at this. Like what Larry was just saying, the top gainers, right? Versus the top losers. When you see something, and again, these things move, again, put some headphones in the chat, family. This is game for free. So when you look at the top gainers and the top losers, and you wonder, man, how are people making money on this, but I'm losing money on this? First of all, these things start to run 4 a.m. in the pre-market. A lot of the time, it's institutions that get in immediately. They got the algorithm and the bots pumping them at 4 a.m., right? Eastern time, pre-market. And then they're going to run up for a few hours. But they will usually tank as soon as the market is open, right?
Yep.
So the pre-market runners are usually the top gainers. And then when everybody else is trying to get in, they just get smoked for the rest of the day because they're trying to play something that is already up. But again, this happens in the pre-market. Now, if you want to see something that will likely give you more time in the same direction, these are for my options traders, right? Again, headphones in the chat. Check this out. You see the volume ranking? And again, Moomoo, it's just all this information is right here. Volume is telling you this. When you see a stock moving up and it has a lot of volume, think of it like the momentum. The momentum is just flying through it. Every single person who's involved is just kind of going one way on it. It's hard to turn it around. Harder to turn it around than something that's like more of a hype thing, right? So if you see something pumping up on very high volume, then the trend is your friend. You can trade into that trend. But if you see something going down like this, for example, AMD, high volume rankings, high volume, but it's going down. This means that the down pressure is real. So then you could bet down with it, right? So this is the volume rankings give you your swing plays. The top gainers give you your scout plays where you get in and like Larry said, you put in money that if you get in, not financial advice, but you put in money that you were willing to lose, right? So then what you're trying to do is, let's say you've seen this and you've seen it's about to pump up. You're looking at it in the pre-market. You don't try to ride it all the way up to 360%. Maybe you ride it up for 50%, right? Maybe you get it at 90 and then you ride it up for 50% of that, right? Or you get it at 100 and you let it go at 150, but it'd be like a quick in and out. This is how you use these kind of tools, family. The volume helps you with your swing trades, and then the top gainers helps you with your scout plays. Scouts mean you take a little bit off the top. That's how you got to consider it. And again, that's free game that I got for you. But You know what time it is, family. We all back to the building
And let
right
me say
now.
this. Let me say this, good people. If you are somebody with money, then it's easier to make money, right? So if you see a stock, one of these stock, and they go up 7%, let's say you drop 25 G's on it. And literally, you just pulled out $1,700, 1,750, $1,750, just with a 7% move, and then you out.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, if you start hitting these bangers, keep that in a portfolio by itself, and just stack that money. Just stack that money from your wins, because if you now, every time you win, just keep that in a separate portfolio, because now you can continue to play with bigger money that you've won off of your wins. So you're really not losing anything if you do lose. All right. But just be careful, good people. And just remember, this is play money. This is not the money I'm going to make dollar cost averaging. This is not the money I'm going to make on Apple, Microsoft, VOO, VTI, Google. Those are the plays that I'm going to make the big money over the next 5 to 10 years. Those are the plays I'm going to make millions over a period of time. Right. So I want you to refocus, like, this is something I'm going to play with, but the big dogs are the ones that's going to give me the big returns with low risk.
Mo, let us know about. I know what you talk about. I got you.
No, I got some input here. I see some of the comments saying, I wonder what Mo, he's quiet. Hey, listen,
drop some gems for the people.
Education. There's education being given for free right now, and these guys are nailing it. For everybody that thinks, hey man, he's a perma-bull, Mo, that's all he does. I don't bet against the U.S. economy, but I do bet against dogs, because there are a lot of dogs out there. I usually, back in my educational days, for those who don't know, we played in a lot of national championships and state championships for investing. And I would teach the kids how to do exactly what you guys are talking about. Yeah, I don't talk about it on my channel pretty much at all. It's high risk.
You can't.
And I'm trying
to. You can't.
Because, they always come back, hey, this guy said this guy said that. It doesn't even matter if you made a lot of money. The stock usually will come back down. And what we did is we watched the FDA. We watched the reports come out. FDA would okay some kind of drug preliminary, and all of a sudden it would spike 200, 300, 400%. Once we felt that the volume was changing directions, once we felt the top has been hit, we would short it for everything we could. And we ended up winning back-to-back national championships, to the point they didn't let us play anymore because they wanted other people to win. And we ended up with 15 state championships, all kinds of great things using that strategy. Now, I know people think, hey, this is how Mo doesn't do it. No, I've done it for a long time, close to a decade, and it's a really good strategy. The only thing is, to short those stocks, you got to be able to short them. If you're using a brokerage, you got to call them up and say, hey, can I short this one? Not every stock's going to be shortable. And that's the downside that I found in getting out there with your cash, that if you can be somewhere where you can short these ones that move up 1,000% in a day, I personally love, and I find that if you have a good strategy about money management, taking advantage of the hype and then selling off, you can ride it up, follow the volume. And then as soon as you start to see that change in a little bit, take your gains. And if you're going to take your gains, what are you expecting it for it to crash? Then short. And that's what we used to do in our challenges and our competitions. And we are very successful at it. So yeah, I do have some advice.
Oh yeah, bro, I got a question for you too. I got a question for you. What can you explain to us what these leveraged ETFs are? What's going on with that?
See, and everybody has their higher risk. We can talk about scalping. We can talk about all that stuff, the technicals. Hey, is it above a 200 moving average again? Well, that's a good bull run. I know all that. But the thing is, I like leverage. I know Keenan is a master of options. I go to him if I have questions. He is that good. And so I do recommend joining his Patreon. His links below. It is going to be one of the best donations. It's a donation. He's not over there. Be a part of his Patreon. Trust me, you won't regret it. With that being said, I do leveraged. leverage is where you can buy into these ETFs. And now we know they're coming out with individual stocks that are going to be leveraged. You want to buy PayPal 2 times, you can get 2 times the position with a single, like $100, you'll own $200 worth of PayPal. So they're coming out with that, but the costs are greater, the risk is greater. I'm into 3 times leverage right now. I got TQQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100. We bought it on Monday. We're starting 10 grand a week until the end of the year. We'll have over 200,000, and we're going to control probably $500,000 to 600,000 by the time it's done. And we're already up like $700 in 2 days. And so the danger is there that you will see. I did a video on it I think it was just the last video I just did, but we talked about how it had a couple roller coaster moments where you see it drop 10, 15%. But if you look at the month, it's up 30%. But you have those drops in there. And so it's not for the faint of heart, but I have a portion of my money that gets into that. Now, there is a decay factor in there. There is a cost, if you will. If the stock stays flat and nothing changes, the underlying holdings, you're going to lose money because there's a cost. And so if nothing happens in a year and you held it for a year, you lost money, and it could be significant. On the other hand, it's personally, people ask me, what do you think it's for? Short periods of time. And so a lot of people say day to day. I'm actually looking at it, and I proved this last year. If you believe very sincerely that everything's pointing towards a big movement over we'll say under a year run, I think you can use these leverage products to make a substantial amount of money. And I did that last year, and I'm hoping I'm going to do this again, but I'm also using a little DCAing in there to reduce some of the risk as we go through, I think, still some volatile times up to, I think, September. And I think the volatility will slowly die down, and then we'll have a strong Q4. But, leverage gives you more positions for the same amount of money, but more positions means more risk.
And Mo, thank you for that, because I'll tell you, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about leveraged ETFs from you. Larry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Mo is the leverage guy, man. I have too. That's the cool thing. We learn from each other, right? Someone asked, when was the best time to join Moo? Click Keenan's link below. Go to his description and just download it right now. Now's the best time to answer that.
Yeah, I want to jump in on that, Larry.
Moo and Weeble.
Right now, click his link. Put $100 in. You're going to give you 6 free stocks for doing the $100 deposit, and it can be worth up to $15K. Don't let free money sit on the table, family. This is the easiest money to get.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, guys. And I wanted to comment on something too that Martin just said in the comments. He said, Uncle Larry, he said, thank you for the information that you give us. He said, I wish that you were here before. He said he's down 90% of his portfolio, right? Now, and Martin.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Let me give you some tough love. Let me give you some tough love, big dog, because I feel like, sometimes people come in and give you a hug, but what you really need is to get punched in the chest. So I'm here to punch you in the chest. And
that's old school.
Go ahead. Listen, Martin, it's going to make you money. Go ahead.
It's love, big dog. Your portfolio should not be able to go down 90%.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be able to happen. In the worst bear markets, it shouldn't happen, right? The reason for that is you have, like I just showed you, the stocks that we were looking at just a second ago when I was talking about top gainers or momentum runners in the volume. Your portfolio is 100% of these. If you had VTI, if you had the SPY, if you had Apple, if you had Microsoft, if you had things like that, even if you was 100% in the NEO, even if you was 100% in the Lucid, you wouldn't be down 90%. So what I want to do is, again, I got to punch you in the chest, but it's out of love. I want you to slow it down, rebuild, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you to rebuild. Yes. What you're going to do is you're going to start, not financial advice, but I want you to consider to say, you know what? I can't handle the heat because my foundation is weak. That means the foundation of my portfolio, you built a house on sand. You got to stop building your house on sand. Don't build your house on a lake. You know what I'm saying? Put your house on granite. You got to build it out and bet with the things that you know are going to win long term. And again, like Stockmo was saying, he doesn't bet against the U.S. economy, because when you do that, what you do is you basically betting against businesses growing. And the entire world that we live in is shaped by businesses being successful. I said this in the video last time. And I said, and I was talking about think about how successful businesses are really shaping the way that you live. Whatever clothes you're wearing right now is from some successful brand that's beating other brands. Whatever grocery store you went to, whether it's Ralph's over in California or Stop and Shop on the East Coast, whatever's going on there, guess what? They had to beat out other grocery stores to get you to come in there. Successful businesses, Apple phones, Android phones, right? They had to beat somebody out. Businesses that are successful are pushing the economy forward. Everything, even this mouse that I'm using right now, comes from some successful business. So what you got to do is bet with the economy. And then even in down markets, even in bear markets, even in corrections, 10%, 20%, you might even see a depression. We go down 40%, but not 90. So what I want you to do again is build your foundation up strong. And I don't want to give you some abstract, be confident, some kind of, advice like that. I want to tell you, look into VTI. This is Vanguard's total stock market ETF, right? This is the whole United States economy. The only way that this is going to go down is overall, if there's a bear market, it's going to go down some. But if we get taken over by China or Russia, then it's over for VTI. But barring that, we're likely to go up long term in the future. So you got to consider building your portfolio on something very strong, family. That's what I just had to do it. Again, I say this out of love, but I got to tell you it like it is. Go ahead, Larry. You got something?
Can I help Martin also? I want to tell Martin this, man, and thanks for Keenan. That's love, Martin. I tell you, my first investment in 92, I lost it all. I want to tell you that is the best thing that could happen to you. You may not feel like it right now, but you losing that 90% is the best thing that could happen to you because you got the lesson harder than anybody else. Here's what I'm also going to tell you. Those plays that I was talking about, I wouldn't suggest going and get those now. You're late to the party. Here's what I suggest you're doing. If you don't have Webull, I'm sorry. If you don't have Webull, click the link below in Keenan's description. This is what I want you to do. After you download that link and put some money in it, I want you to go look at my video today. And this is what I want you to do. It has what's called drip buying. All you have to do is look at when you get paid, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, and buy these stock and set it on automatic. You could literally tell Webull, I want you to buy $5 of this a day or $10 of this a week, according to how much you can afford, and just set it and forget it. And it'll do it every week for you. But here's some stock that I suggest that you get. I suggest that everybody have these in their portfolio. Remember, anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell, blah, blah, blah. Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. Google, ticker symbol GOOG. Vanguard S&P, all right, which has Microsoft, Google, Tesla in it. Ticker symbol VOO, and Vanguard VTI, ticker symbol VTI. And you know why I suggest you have these? Because I asked Stock Mo, I asked Keenan, I think I asked you, I asked some other, I asked some other influencers, real smart technical guys. And out of all of the influencers that I asked, including myself, believe it or not, these were in every one of our top 5 stocks to pick if we go into a recession. Remember that, Mo? I did that in January.
I do. Listen, you know what I call this, Larry?
Yes.
I call it the Ma. Hey, Ma.
Yep.
It's Microsoft, it's Amazon, it's Alphabet, and it's Apple. If you get those 4 stocks as your cement, as that concrete, as the granite to your foundation for your portfolio,
and set it and forget it.
Let it go. Even if they were the only 4 you got, which I still think you should diversify more, but even if you didn't, I'm telling you, you're going to wake up in 10 years and be like, whoo, how much?
He's going to wake up in 5 years. Listen,
and
if he starts
Keenan
right
says,
now, where we are right now, he'll wake up in 2 years and going, this works.
Exactly. No one's trying to get sued here. Not financial advice, but these 4 stocks, I absolutely love them. So that's right. Like I said, I don't tell you what to buy and sell. I'm just telling you what I'm buying and selling.
Check this out.
The Ma.
I had made a video I want to say 2 days ago, maybe yesterday on Apple, right? And I'm digging deep in Apple, and It turns out if you got them at IPO, right? And let's be clear, Apple was not just some obscure. It was not just some obscure startup when it IPO. It was
a penny stock,
right? You would have had you would have put 1,000 in when it started. You can't go back in time, but let's tell it like it is. You would have put 1,000 in, it would be about $430,000 today. But you missed IPO. That was 1980, right? That was 1980. You missed it. The iPhone came out in 2007. Apple got its second wind and took off again, right? People thought, 2007, I missed it again, right? I missed it. Guess what? If you would have put in $10,000 in about 2012, 5 years after the iPhone, your $10,000 would have been $106,000 today from 2012. Why does that 10 years ago resonate with me? Because I was in college. I was getting $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 in loans to go to school. What if I was able to use some of that money to buy stocks? Family, come on now. But it is what it is. Yep.
October 15, 1982, a share of Apple was 10 cents.
Could you believe that? Could you believe that? And for those of you who will remember that time, you might be a little older, you remember that time, Apple has split the stock many, 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 many times, right? So then this is why, if you remember it, and it might have been, let's call it $50 or $100 then, comparatively speaking to today's amount of shares, 10 cents. 10 cents. That's crazy.
Yep. Somebody said Disney will come back. Yes. And MP, if you like Earth, yes on both of those.
Oh, yeah. Disney's going to come back. People. I forgot about Disney for a second, but I got to tell you. Let me tell you something. You know how Marvel, they came out with, they have, Disney owns Marvel, Disney owns Star Wars. They are killing the movie theater game, right? Yep. But understand this. Ever since the Thanos thing, right, when they had the Avengers Endgame and that was over, they kind of hit like a peak and they've been coming down a little bit. But they just released all of their new phases that they're coming out with and up to 2025, right? Now, you know people are going to rush to see these Avengers movies. They're going to drop 2 in 1 year. And check this out. Star Wars has been on a little bit of a decline since episode 7, 8, and 9 in the last, I think, since like 2017 or so. But they still own the rights. As soon as they just, we got it right this time, it's going to blow up the stock again. They own.
You know what's the worst thing that happened to Disney? You know what the worst thing that happened to Disney, Keenan, was?
I'm thinking, go ahead. I'm thinking
Netflix. Netflix was the worst thing that happened to Guilt by association. Netflix literally took every streaming service down.
And
what does Netflix have? Streaming. What does Disney have? How much time you got?
Right.
I mean, they part
the king of content.
Come on, man.
The king of content right there. So everybody who's here, listen, I won't hold Mo and Larry too long. We had a great live. Catch us again. Basically every 2 weeks, we're going to be on a live stream. If you enjoyed this one, I know we stopping a little bit abruptly, but I got to respect my brother's time. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, Keenan.
Huh?
Keenan.
Go ahead, family.
And I got to run. But for 2 minutes, because I see the chats, I love to feed the people.
Let's do it.
And can't nobody out of the three of us talk about this like you can. You got to talk about AMC for like 2 minutes, bro.
Let's talk about the big dog, the beast, the banger, AMC Entertainment. They are having their earnings tomorrow, right after the market. What does this mean? This means that a lot of people, so there's 2 camps here. There's the apes who have been holding on to AMC. They're doing it for market fairness, right? They're doing it for the short squeeze. And then the earnings tomorrow has drawn in a lot of the swing traders. The swing traders are not the apes, right? So you're going to see a lot of volatility. You're going to see some people who say, oh man, I'm holding AMC until I get to $1 million. They're going to buy in and buy in and buy in. And then they're going to get shaken out by some of the swing traders. Understand? You just got to know. If you've been in the AMC game for a long time, you put a gorilla in the chat so we know where it's at. Now, with that being said, I want you to understand this. With the earnings tomorrow, it's expected that they're going to have very close, not exactly, but very close to Q4 2021 numbers. Before we had this great pullback for the whole 2022, remember when Spider-Man came out, y'all remember that? Some of y'all seen that Spider-Man movie. Actually, most people went out with their families to go and see it, and it was the second highest grossing movie, literally of all time on the opening weekend. AMC made so much money then. But guess what? The movie theaters is making a crazy comeback. This don't mean that AMC is a fundamental play. Let's keep in mind, it's still a short squeeze swing trade kind of a play. However, the fundamentals are gradually getting better. Top Gun came out. The Minions movie came out. Thor, Love and Thunder came out. And Jurassic World came out all basically at the same time, which crazy pumped up the revenue till it's the point that it's 161% up year over year. That's absolutely crazy. The short sellers, the hedge funds who are betting against AMC, they are down 40%, 50%, 80%. Some of them are closing their doors, betting against it. So I see all the gorillas in the chat. Now you updated on AMC, baby. Let's keep it going. Let's get it. I want you to subscribe to Stock Mo's channel. Get up on that Patreon with my guy. I want you to subscribe to Uncle Larry's channel. Go and learn about how to drip invest. I'm telling you that. Let's do it. Guys, if you got anything to say, you let them know, and then we're going to get on out of here. Hit a like before you leave, family. Let's see if we get it to 2,000. Go ahead. Let's get it.
That's what I was going to say. I'm leaving on this saying this. Hit that like button for him. Let's get this over 2,000. And I once again appreciate being on here with you two gentlemen. I love being a part of the family. I can't wait to see what we can do moving forward, and I think it's going to be really good. I appreciate everybody, and like I always say, let's get out there and make some money.
Hey, like these gentlemen, I love to just empty out, because the truth of the matter is, if we collectively as the family don't make this money, then that top 5%, it goes to them. The money never dissipates. It just gets shifted. And there's a scripture in a good book that says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. It's time for us to get ours, good people. And so that's what I'm going to leave you with. Live, love, laugh, and learn. I love you guys.
And remember, this is nothing else. If you can't handle the heat of these hot stocks, then stay out of the kitchen and consider investing in index funds. I love y'all. Take care.